Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good
I'll
morning,
wait. Yes, I'll wait 2 minutes to others to join because it's only 116. I'll wait 1 or 2 minutes. So I think I have started. So I have finished the terminology. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop. Hmm? Can somebody tell me where I stop?
Ma'am, we didn't start the second lesson.
Okay. I have to start today. Thank you.
Okay.
Today I would like to start a new section which is on this animal digestion and nutrition. So here you study the ruminants, non-ruminants, the difference. Very briefly, you will study these things later. In second semester, you study about this anatomy part. And second year, first semester also, you will be doing little bit, not little bit more about this nutrition. So just put this for this year, but this semester, we will be doing a brief one. Okay, so animal digestion and nutrition. So the objective to describe the function and major parts of the digestive system, especially in ruminants. Okay, so that's the objective. So whatever you learn here in university, we should know what's the objective, why we are learning. Objective. Okay, learning outcome, what we expect from you. Okay, so ruminant animals, so they are with the complex digestive system. So that's capable of digesting material with a high fiber concentration. Not like us, not like monogastric animal. So you can see they eat a lot of roughages. Fiber, roughages in the sense it has more fiber. Okay, so if you take the grass, 80% is fiber. So likewise, the fiber concentration is high. So the ruminant animal has having a habit of taking this high fiber material, and you know the product from them, the milk, the meat, beef meat, meat. Milk is very, very rich in protein and nutrition. So they are eating very poor material, very locally available, very poor quality materials, but they give a high product. So so the examples: cattle, sheep, goats, and deer. So these are the examples, and you can see this. So to see here, so that's an animal, the ruminant animal. So this is the stomach, the whole set. So this is the intestine. Okay, but other, we can see a purple color one, yellow color one, and a green color one. They are digestive system. Parts of the digestive system, you can see it comprises major part of the abdomen. Even the animal, if you take, this comprises a lot in their abdominal cavity. So the big part is comprised by this ruminant stomach. So it has the rumen. You see this rumen, reticulum. Okay, these are major compartments: omasum, yellow color, and the abdomen continues as intestine. Okay, small intestine. Okay. So that's the esophagus. It's quite different. Okay, so these are the parts of the ruminant digestive system. So this kind of complex system. So this is a complex stomach because they are eating these grasses. So it has to convert it to valuable products. So it has to be the glucose should be available for the animal for the function. So how it is formed is because of this complex stomach. So these things, how it's going to be formed, those things you study in second year. Just for here, just telling what is a ruminant animal and what is a non-ruminant animal, the basic classification. The second semester you will study, the same year, second semester you study the anatomy. Okay, not very function part, but only the anatomy. In the anatomy, just functions like how it's operated. Okay, parts and function. Here, So mouth, as usual, bites and chew. Esophagus for connection, so connecting the oral cavity, the mouth, and the stomach, and the passage of food. The four compartments of complex stomach: rumen, reticulum, omasum, abomasum. So these two comprises highest percentage, 85%. These are smaller. So this abomasum we call true stomach. So their enzymatic digestion takes place. So other three, it's only fiber digestion, no enzyme secreted, mechanical and fermentation takes place in these three, rumen, reticulum, and omasum. But in abomasum, it's like a normal stomach. So they secrete enzymes. Okay. The parts and the function. Rumen is the largest of the four parts. It's largest. This is the largest among the four. So we call ruminate, filled with bacteria, protozoa, fungi, microflora. So we call those things the microflora. Converts large amount of roughage to amino acids here. So they are converting the roughages to amino acids. So that's the major function of ruminants, rumen. So the average cow rumen can hold over 160 liters, 40 gallons. So you can imagine how big it is. Okay. So this is the rumen. Take the rumen. So it's the below part, bottom, the middle and the top part. So the top part, the gases are collected. In ruminant animals, a lot of gases are produced during this digestion process. Fermentation, the bacteria are there, protozoa are there, little bit of fungi, so they help to digest these fibers, not the animal itself, but these bacteria residing inside this rumen, they help to digest these roughages. So they produce a lot of gases. So the gases like carbon dioxide and methane are produced in large amount. So they are collected here, and time to time they are removed from the esophagus through the oral cavity to the environment. So that's the problem with the ruminants, because they produce a lot of gas and they are released to the environment. So these gases, methane and carbon dioxide, they're very harmful to the environment. So however, they are being released to the environment through this digestion process in ruminants. So that's sort of a disadvantage. So that's what it is said not to keep these animals in the city, because city is urban, it's with people and emitting a lot of gases. It's not good. So that's what it should be away. Farms should be away from the people, city. So this is a microbe, for an example, residing inside the rumen. Rumen microbes, they are large microbe. It's a type of protist, the creature that looks like a tadpole attached to the sides of the protist in a fungus spore. So these things just described in a smaller rod-shaped organism lining lining the under the bacteria. The parts, so just skipping that, it's no need. Reticulum compartments where the leak goes, it's like a honeycomb. If you see inside, it's like a honeycomb one. So here, the reticulum, omasum and abomasum. So that removes liquid omasum. Abomasum, a true stomach. enzymes and acids are secreted, and it's like a normal digestion what you study in your previous, in your year and schooling. You study this digestion, so it's same as there in abomination. Then the small intestine, so these are same. There are parts, duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. So there, the food is digested with the bile. Pancreas is there, so pancreatic juice, enzymes and hormones are secreted by pancreas. So we call this enzymes were mixed with this content from the pancreas, the intestinal juice. Okay, so can be so digested material. A digestion takes place as well as absorption takes place. And absorption is by this pilus part. The large intestine, so they absorb water. Majority of the water absorbed in the large intestine. They add mucus on digested feed and feces. The non-ruminant, so here, so that is just due to teeth. Ruminant is a simple stomach, monogastric animal, but the feed must contain high quality, not low quality, because they have a sort of limitation digesting roughages, concentrates. So we cannot feed much, so around 20% of their diet. So if you are giving a diet, 20% must contain not more than 20% the roughages. But in ruminants, you can add up to 80% of their diet. So you can, roughages, you can add more for ruminants, but non-ruminants, it's limited around 20%. That's depend animal to animal. Examples, they cannot digest large amount of fiber. Little amount of fiber can be digested by pigs. Rabbits and birds can be digested little amount, not large, less than 20%. So the examples, human, dogs, cats, rabbits, pigs, and horses. But the horses, pigs, rabbits, so they can, birds, so you have to include the birds as well. They also monogastric. Who is that on the mic? Okay, so these animals called monogastrics. So you have to include the birds here. So below these horses, you include the birds, okay? The poultry. They also comes under monogastric animal. So non-ruminant part is same, mouth, esophagus, stomach, but it's only one part. So their enzymes are secreted and act on the food. There is no much bacteria and protozoas like ruminants. There are small intestine, large intestine. Accessory organs are there. So that's in non-ruminant ruminants as well. Liver, they produce bile. The pancreas is there, produce insulin. And the anus, the end of the digestive system, where the excreta is removed. So this is the monogastric animal digestive. So it's what you study in your previous years. It's where started the mouth, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, jejunum, ileum. And this part, large intestine, yes, cecum, large intestine, cecum, colon, the rectum. Anus is outside, opening where the fecal materials are released. Duodenum, where the pancreas is. Pancreas. Yes. Next one, the poultry digestive system. So that comes under monogastric, but just it's a little different because there's a beak or a cavity, esophagus, and we call crop, proventriculus. These parts are different. Small intestine, and then the large intestine starts here, and they have a ceca of paired ceca. It's the large intestine, part of the large intestine, cloaca and veins. So this is different. Chickens, turkeys, ducks, and geese. Whales comes under poultry. Farming animals, farming birds. So this is just different. Crop, proventriculus. The poultry digestive system is same. It's like a mouth or a cavity, mouth or beak. We cannot chew esophagus. So that's the function is same. Crop is store food. So you see a crop part is here. A little enlargement of the esophagus. It stores the food. Gizzard. So we'll come to these things later. So no need to worry. Just I'm quickly going up. A gizzard crushes the food. Here you see the gizzard, proventriculus. Gizzard, then there's liver, small intestine, large intestine, vent. We call the birds not the anus, vent. Okay, remove solids and liquid waste. Inspecting animal digestive system. So this is just quickly I'm going. Okay. Come to this one. Here, the nutrients, that's objective. Distinguish the function and sources of feed nutrients for farming. Okay, so groups of nutrients. Nutrients are different. Nutrition is the process of processing the food, but nutrients are the elements like carbohydrates, proteins, we call nutrients. The terms are different. Identify the 6 major groups of nutrients. Okay, nutrients. It's different. So carbohydrate is the first nutrient. So they composed of sugar, starch, cellulose, and lignin. Provide energy and heat. So the carbohydrates, so you would have studied these things, make up the largest quantity of livestock food, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Fats and oil, it gives more energy, 2.25 times energy value of carbohydrates, more energy. So at body temperature, fats are solid and oils are liquid. Okay. So example, lard. Okay. Extra carbohydrate are stored as fat. So you know when you eat more carbohydrate food, so used for energy, and excess will be stored as a fat. So they also have this carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And so you know the fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, K, so they are stored in the fat. Proteins, so the most majority component of the muscles and tissue. Okay, it's made up with amino acids. Okay, there are essential amino acids, non-essential amino acids. Ruminant can produce amino acids. We don't need to provide for ruminant animal. They produce these amino acids, but monogastric animal cannot produce amino acids. We have to give in their diet. So you know these things. Okay, so young animal need more because they are growing. Okay. So for animal they need because every time there is replacement and body cells are regenerating, so it must be provided. A protein supplement should be provided for animals, but adult animal not much. Okay, but young animal needs more because of the vitamins needed in a small quantity helps to regulate function. So you know A, B, C, D, E, K. So in B, so many classifications. So food sources, so I'm not going much details. You will study those things later. The minerals also needed in trace amount. Calcium, phosphorus, sodium, zinc, silver. So many minerals are needed. So they also regulate the functions, metabolic functions. They provide growth for bone, teeth, and tissues. Okay, so I'm not going much detail. The other one is the water. So makes up to 40% to 60% of the animal's body. It's by the water, that depends. So they helps to dissolve nutrients, carry them various parts of the body. Source of nutrients, so you can have a look on the carbohydrate foods, cereal, corn, wheat, oats, rye, barley, and sorghum. Proteins you can get from two sources, plant or animal. Plant, soybean, cotton, alfalfa, animal, meat, fish, dried milk, and some non-protein nitrogenous source like urea. So if you see these plant and animal, so they, even though these two are there, animal proteins with more amino acids compared to plant one, because plant you don't get all the essential amino acids, but in animal you get most essential amino acids. Okay. Among them, soybean meal is better, but even though animal plant protein are lacking certain amino acids, so animal protein is the complete protein with complete amino acids needed for human animal. Okay. Fats you can get it from grains and concentrate. Vitamins you can get it from mixtures, premixtures, mineral blocks. Okay. So you can use alfalfa as a roughage for getting energy as well as the fiber. Molasses, so we give animal to improve the taste palatability. So if you add a little bit molasses, the animal try to eat more because they like. Palatability means the taste. So we call palatability taste because they like to eat molasses. Okay. So that molasses is a byproduct of the sugar industry. Reduce feed dust, molasses, because it's wet. Concentrate, high nutritive value, so you can get it from corn, barley, or wheat. Roughages high in fiber, forage crops like silage, hay, pasture. So these things you study in your second year. But just remember, silage and hay can prepare. Hay is like you cut off the grasses. Okay, you cut off the grasses, dry it, and make a bale. It's not like straw. Straw is the remaining product after paddy harvesting, but hay is not. You grow the plant and you harvest before they get mature and dry it and make a bundle and keep it and feed whenever animal needed. Silage is also same. You have to cut the grasses in a certain period, especially before they flowering, and you make it in airtight condition. Airtight condition, the fermentation takes place. So this is the wet form. Silage is a wet form, but hay is a dry form. So these are sort of conserving the pasture and fodder. So these you can feed when there is lack of fresh grasses. Okay, but sometimes it happens. Silage seems to be improve the milk production, and the pasture, the grasses are there. Okay, so these things just you remember. Total digestible nutrient. The concentrates are high in TDN. Roughages are low in TDN. You know, so these things like what does it mean? Total digestible nutrients means whatever the food you eat, even the animal eat, not it's completely used by the animal. Okay, certain part undigested is removed in the fecal. So what can be digested? Okay, digested by the animal we call digestible nutrients. So some are not digested; they are removed to the fecal. So what could be digested by the animal we call digestible nutrients. So total digestible nutrient. Among the digestible one, not all are used by the animal. Okay, certain part is not used. So that we'll study later, but just remember total digestible nutrient is what is used by the animal, digested. If not digested, it cannot be used by the animal, that is removed. So concentrate have more TDN. Roughages are low TDN. So if you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, I have to start another section. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, I will start a new section. The first class, you had so many questions, but now it seems no one is asking questions. Sleeping.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
We have it. Okay, do you have? Yes. Okay, do you have any questions? You can ask. You understand? Understood? So what about the practical? Is it okay? Would you be able to identify?
Yes,
If you don't have a question, I'll start another section. Okay. So now you have an idea what is the monogastric, what is ruminant. So that is the two major classification in animal production. So I'll start a new section. Just give me 1 or 2 minutes. Give me 1 or 2 minutes. The section, so sharing a screen. So you all can see. So it's about this agroecological regions. So why are we going to study? You know, in Sri Lanka, it is having a variety of agroecological regions. So if you see in this northern part, so that's sort of a different climate. So different weather, different climate, and the land, it's also different. But when you compare this Kandy, the central province, that's quite different. The southern, like it's different. Eastern, it's different. So because of that, the farming system also varies. So you should know what type of agroecological regions in Sri Lanka and what type of diet production, livestock production. Okay, in certain areas, the aquaculture is the predominant part, especially this coastal, but it's not found sometimes in the middle of the country. But it is there, but sort of different. So for that, what type of different ecological systems, regions in Sri Lanka, and how we are going to have in the farm. So we cannot have that certain type of animals in hill country in northern part. It's quite different. You know, in the world, temperate and tropical countries, the temperate countries are like Europe's, USA, and those countries are temperate. The climate is different. The animal is also different. But when you see in Sri Lanka, India, we call tropical. So two different major classification of the worldwide. But in Sri Lanka, among Sri Lanka, so we will study this what sort of ecological, of having this livestock, production of livestock, poultry and fish. So hope you understand the title. We'll see what different ecological regions in Sri Lanka and what type of farming, production, animal production is there. Okay. So here, Sri Lanka, so the geographical location, so you know this land area, so this you would have studied, and you know, everybody knows the location, the southern point of Indian subcontinent between 554 and 952 long north latitude and 7939 and 8153 degrees and east longitude. The topography is an island consists of south central mountain region which rises to an elevation of 2,500 meters. Surrounded by broad lowland plains at an elevation of 0 to 75 meters above the sea level. So these things you know. Okay. From the mountain region, 9 major rivers and 94 other rivers zones. So we'll see what are the agro, based on agriculture, agroecological zones. Heterogeneous agroecological environment, because there are so many variations, so that's what heterogeneous. A particular agroecological region represents agroclimate, soil, terrain conditions. So that will support a particular farming system with a certain range of crop farms, farming practices, including forages, cultivation, land, livestock farming. So this is the picture. You can go through this. Okay. Dry zone, intermediate zone, wet zone. This gives the agroecological zones of Sri Lanka based on the altitude and rainfall. Okay. So this is the picture I give you sort of agroecological regions in Sri Lanka. On rainfall distribution, so they based on the rainfall distribution, there are wet zone, dry zone, and intermediate zone. So the wet zone covers southwestern region, including the central hill, that receives high mean annual rainfall over 200 and 2050, so 2,500 millimeters without pronounced dry period. Okay, there's not much dry period, so to provide rain throughout the year, 2,500 millimeters. Then the dry zone, so they covers predominantly the northern and eastern part of the country, separates from the wet zone by intermediate zone. The annual rainfall is less than 1,750 millimeters, with a distinct dry season from May to September. A pronounced dry season is there from May to September. So there are 24 agroecological regions, 46 sub-regions due to environmental change, availability of more spatial and temporal data, advancement of the geographic technology. So there are 24 agroecological regions. Agroecological sub-regions in each agroclimatical zone, the potential and constraints. So that's the major thing what we are going to study. What are the different agroecological regions found in Sri Lanka and the potential and their constraints. Okay. An agroecological region represents a particular combination of natural characteristic of climate, while each agroecological region represents uniform agroclimate, soil, terrain conditions. So that is to help you to identify the farming system. Okay. There are certain range of crops and farming practices. So why we are finding? Because we have to have the farms. So what type of region you are going to have the farm? What are the animals that you can have? What's the breed? So you know what is a breed now. So what are the breeds we can have? What sort of mixed species we can have? The plant crop, what we have. So these things you will study when you know these different agroecological regions in Sri Lanka. Okay. The wet zone, there are 15 agroecological subregions. 4 regions up country wet zone, so up country wet zone. So that's having a significant variation in southwestern monsoon, being in most effective area of southwestern monsoon rain. Okay, so these things, you know. Okay. So these are different classification. Just you would have studied somewhere else, I don't know. But just remember the major wet zone, dry zone, intermediate zone, and their subdivisions. So if you see this one here, the names are given. Dry zone D, intermediate I. Then the wet zone, either up or low or medium. So here also intermediate, up, medium, or low. Dry zone only low, having different divisions. So if you see this picture, you can get it from the internet. Different So for this the wet zone, apart from this amount of distribution of the southwestern monsoon, so little northeast monsoon is also play a vital role in distinguish these 6 sub-regions in the mid-country, wet zone. 4 months period from December to March is relatively dry in wet zone, mid-country, 3A. So these are different classifications. So if you see the previous picture which I showed, you can have an idea what is M3, M4. So there are two different distinct dry periods in this region. Okay, wet zone, mid-country, 3B. Due to reduced effectiveness of the southwest monsoon rain over this sub-region. Okay. So these things just to describe what sort of different climatic zones are found. Low country wet zone. So here a mountain distribution of southwestern monsoon as well as the first winter monsoon. Rains are important in identifying five ecological subregions in this part, low country wet zone. The months in July, August, December in this wet zone, low country 3 agroecological region does not receive adequate amount of rain and hence cannot be considered as wet months. The 4 month period extending from December to March is relatively dry in wet zone mid-country 3A agroecological sub-region. While there are two distinct dry periods in this wet zone mid-country 3B due to reduced effectiveness of this rain, southwestern monsoon rain. The low country wet zone amount and distribution of southwestern monsoon as well as first winter monsoon rains were more important in identifying five agroecological subregions. The months in July, August, December. In this wet zone low country 3 agroecological region does not receive adequate amount of rainfall. So these are not wet months. Okay. 4 months from December to March is relatively dry. So the next one is the intermediate zone. So there are 20 agroecological subregions. Okay, so here you will be studying these different conditions. Okay, so what type of soil. So we have covered until this wet zone. So I'll start this one in next class. Intermediate zone. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I would have stopped. Have any questions? You don't understand anything? So this is nothing, okay, just the ecological regions in Sri Lanka, how they are divided and what are the subdivisions. Even though if it is dry zone, wet zone, intermediate zone, there are lowland, highland. So based on that and some minute climatic changes, so these experts have divided into different agroecological regions. So what type of rain they are getting. So those things I explained here. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, I will stop. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
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 Thank you, ma'am.